2 days ago, leftist radicals in Portland, Oregon, ripped down a statue of George Washington and wrapped it in an American flag and set the American flag on fire. Democrat, all Democrat. Everything I tell you is Democrat. And you know, we ought to do something, Mr. Senators. We have two great senators. We ought to come up with legislation that if you burn the American flag, you go to jail for 1 year. 1 year.
So there you have it. There you have it. You got Trump right there in the speech claiming that he wants 1 year for flag burning, right? He had all the folks, all them people that we can assume that were Trump supporters. Donald Trump himself had an issue with Colin Kaepernick kneeling. You just saw that tweet that I put up where he's saying, you know, they want to invoke a law that they have that gives 10 years. 10 years to anybody who desecrates any statues or any monuments. This is the Trumps. Now, it was primarily, you know, the Republican side. And as y'all know, I stand on neither side. Just always got to put the disclaimer out for the dummies because, you know, somebody's going to come in like, oh, you one of them, you know, finger pointing and trying to pigeonhole you in the one ideology without even knowing, even checking out your past work. But y'all claimed it was disrespectful. Disrespecting the American flag. You know, it was unpatriotic to kneel. And I have my skepticism about Colin Kaepernick. But the act of kneeling himself, you know, the act of kneeling, ain't nothing more patriotic than doing that. Because they fight wars for you to have the choice to do what you want. It's not a dictatorship. Y'all claim to be against totalitarianism, fascism, different things like that. But you support somebody like this. You got it on both sides. But y'all just playing, y'all are puppets on each side. Made to believe that your totalitarian leader is more moral than the other. So y'all do all this, he says all of this, and then turns around, the followers of this, they turn around and destroy the Capitol building. I mean, if anything, wouldn't that be more important than, you know, I don't know. Who am I to say what's important to a person? But, you know, the place where your America handles their business, where the Democrats, Republicans, Biden and Trump supporters alike have to share a room. Wouldn't that hold a level of significance, higher priority than even the monuments and the American flags? I don't know. Just help me out. Help me understand. And now y'all tear it up. Y'all tearing up everything, breaking windows, busting shit down. So maybe y'all think y'all should do some jail time then. I mean, if you just want to be fair, you know, for the ones that cheered him when he said that. Maybe y'all should be looking at that. What about police? What about the police? A lot of you, in typical fashion, like I said, I'm gonna deal with the truth. You can see me when I talk about these different situations. A lot of these police brutality cases, they're not black and white like they try to make it be. And I'm not even referring to race, even though they make it that too. But I'm speaking as far as black, white, and gray areas. There's a lot of gray area that gets missed, and there's a lot of misrepresentation within the news. And I always speak upon that. I deal with laws within the city. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that is wrong. You know, people getting off, being able to beat the cases, but the law is there for a reason, and you have to go and change those laws. If you're not examining the law books and even knowing what's on the books in your own city, how are you going to know how to fight it the proper way? Just like the Jacob Blake situation. The cops beat that because legally they could. Now it's up to y'all to go and make those changes on the books. But you can't go back now because that creates double jeopardy. But in typical fashion, you know, you had the, let's just say, Democrats and left on one side, and you had the Republicans and the right on the other side. And the typical argument that they all said was they shouldn't have resisted. You know, they take the same stance on each one. You know, don't resist, and you know, they had a criminal background and different things like that. It's just usually on the side of the police, no matter what. And, you know, I hate that about both sides, because a normal conversation, normal human beings, they're going to be mixed on how they think and how they see things, even when it's, you know, they're not completely educated on the situation at hand. They're going to see things in different ways, but it's, you know, the left has its cult following and the right has its cult following. Left is always going to be anti-police and the right is always going to be pro-police, no matter what. A cult following. But now I see people basically kind of mimicking what's been said, you know, about the different victims, whether, you know, victims or not, you know, people who have been on the end of, you know, police force, the use of force. We'll just say that. Now y'all trying to make, you know, the woman who got killed at the Capitol, now she's become that, and, you know, say her name. So now we're not on the police's side. I thought it was the police no matter what. It's for the Trump supporters. Donald Trump also. And I know Donald Trump, you know, they as much as a deceiver, as much as a liar as he is, the news overdoes it. The news overdoes it, and they apply stuff in places where it's not even warranted. They overdo it. And it's clear that they're trying to push an agenda. So even when he's right on things, they paint him out as being wrong or being the bad guy. So times when he is vocal about, you know, whatever took place, whatever form of police brutality took place, and he's never as loud, as vocal as he is for his support, as he is his support of the police. Never been as loud as that. They're usually just small, subtle, might be in a tweet. Never passionate about it. Never passionate. Like George Floyd would have been a perfect opportunity. I mean, that was clear as day. That was clear as day. So he's never as vocal. And people notice that. People notice that thing. So you have unwavering support of the police force. But you allow this to happen? An officer ended up dying. Now, albeit they say, report that I've heard, and I haven't looked all the way deep into this, but what I've heard is he allegedly tased himself in the nuts and ended up having a heart attack. Wow. But that's hearsay. I can't confirm that. That's why I say it allegedly. But the officer died because of the stunt that was pulled. Where's your support for that officer? Do you take side? Do you take a side? Or, what's your stance on this? What about the woman who supported you? The 4 people that supported you that died. People getting trampled on and all type of stuff. And they died going out there because they believed in you. No matter how ignorant you are. They believed in you. They believed in what you were saying. And they were willing to lay down their life and storm the Capitol. Even knowing how it could end up. You running in a federal building. And, check the last video if you, want to know what I think about, even the fact that they were even able to make it that far and the lack of security going in there. And yeah, I do believe, it possibly could have went different had the culprits been black. But at this point in time, I'm not into dealing with hypotheticals anymore. And it comes to a point where you're going to have to stand up and die for what you believe in and die for your freedom. So if that's what it takes, casualties, you can't be afraid. Death's got to be an option. Death's got to be a weapon. So you can show the divide. If that's what it takes. But not just that, but you got to go and take what you want out here. So I won't dive into that hypothetical. But I feel y'all when y'all say it. But yeah, just as far as this whole situation, it's just ignorant. Just ignorant and hypocritical. And even when he had the opportunity to, slow things down, and when he put out his statement saying, this isn't the right way, he's still putting up tweets saying, this is what you get when you rig an election. And then stuff like that. Where's your proof? Where's the Kraken that you were supposed to be fucking releasing? Where is it? We've been waiting. We've been waiting weeks. I believe it's a rigged election. I believe all elections are rigged. Going from both sides. There's hardly any chance for the smaller players, the ones who can really get shit done and move us in the direction, putting it in the citizens' hands. Not much of a chance for them to win. While you guys get the big time donors. It's not really much of a chance. So where's the proof for you to make a assertion and make a strong claim like that? The smarter thing to do, and this is just, because I know, the media and everything that they show is just all a huge, big monkey show. Huge circus. So, They're going to play their games and they're going to say whatever. They're going to say it the way they want to say it because they have to rally the other side, get the people and keep the people at odds with each other. Keep everything at extremes without looking at everything in a logical manner. I mean, the logical thing to say would be, you want audits. You want to make sure it's done the proper way. And if you're not getting the proper auditing, then challenge that. Challenge the way that the counts are being done. You don't believe that, you're getting the proper counts. You don't believe it's been audited properly, or you don't believe it's been audited at all. Challenge those. That's more believable. But to say and make a complete, absolute assertion that the election is rigged without concrete proof to present to the public, you just make yourself continually look bad. And that's all that happened. But like I said, your people will follow you. Even when Fox News stopped, you turned on Fox News when they became critical of you. You turned on them and then turned to your own news agency, Newsmax, where you can pump out all the Trump propaganda and have all your cronies on there and all your followers, all the lemmings who worship the ground you walk on. They can eat it all up. They can eat it all up. So, y'all did some damage. Y'all did some damage. I keep believing that I always say that the Republican Party is almost like supposed to be, from what they claim to represent, it's supposed to be damn near a bridge toward libertarianism. But it gets misconstrued. We are what the Republicans say they are. Yeah, I said we, because I throw myself, I side with them. I work with libertarians. Libertarian Party is everything that the Republican Party claims to be. But they're actually not. But it gets misconstrued. You have guys like, Hawley and all of them. Josh Hawley, they speak almost the same language. And to the uneducated and the people who don't look at everything with a nuanced eye, it all sounds the same. And so they begin to look at the words of libertarianism. It starts to sound like, those Republicans, right-wing talking points. And then everything gets lost and people start moving more toward the Democratic Party, which will never do anything for the people. Matter of fact, they will ensure that there's always people in a destitute position, and as many as possible. And there will always be a boogeyman, because that's the only way that they maintain power. As soon as those go away, they go away. And they know that. But optics is everything. And playing the game strategic. And y'all dug yourselves a hole. All the Republicans, the Republican Party. I know a lot of y'all denounced them, but y'all did a lot of dick riding this whole time. So, you got to eat it. Hypocritical. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Like, share, subscribe. Expound more on what I'm saying. Add to it if you have anything. And I will catch you fellas later. And women. See you.